Welcome to another episode of Sips and Screams, where twin sister horror movie fanatics sip themed cocktails and discuss our favorites in the genre. Tonight, we are going back a quarter of a century to 2000's Final Destination, directed by James Wong and screenplay written by James Wong, Glenn Morgan, and Jeffrey Reddick, starring Devon Sawa, Ali Larder, fresh off of Varsity Blues, Sean William Scott, a.k.a. Stifler, Kerr Smith, a.k.a. Jack from Dawson's Creek, and the late, great Tony Todd, a.k.a. Mr. Candyman himself. This one is a wild, freaking ride, full of the most chilling plane crash scene, extremely twisted and pretty improbable deaths. It invoked fear in all of us of getting stuck in train tracks, getting stabbed by flying shards of glass, being electrocuted by a telephone pole wire with a mind of its own. It even made us afraid of just a mild breeze coming in through the window. This one started a beloved franchise, and we cannot wait to break it all down. I'm Ashley, and joining me today, as always, is my twin sister, Allie. Allie, how are you? You ready for Final Destination?
I am so ready for Final Destination. This has been one I've been really looking forward to covering, so can't wait.
Yeah, and the latest installment, Bloodlines, just came out, and so we had to do it. We had to go back to 2000.
Have you seen Bloodlines yet, Ash?
I haven't seen it yet, and I'm dying to go.
I know.
No pun intended, but very, very excited. Very excited to go see it. But we're going back. We're going to start with the original and just talk all about it. So, we just, how you feeling after no hot wings tonight? How you feeling?
No hot wings tonight. I can't say I'm, disappointed that we don't have hot wings tonight.
So if you haven't seen, you're listening, so I don't know if you go on YouTube. I have no idea. But if you do go on YouTube, we have a little special content episode, our very own Hot Ones challenge, where Allie's current husband, her CH, interviewed us. He did a great job.
He did. He made it a fantastic, Sean Evans. Ash and I made it through 10 hot wings. We answered 10 questions about horror movies. It was fun. We barely made it. We did survive. Ash had some problems with DeBomb. As did I.
Yeah. Like mentally it's still there, like the trauma. I wouldn't say I recommended it, but you do come out of that feeling like a stronger person. I'm like, I could go climb Mount Everest. Like I feel like I could do anything. I got through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can handle Final Destination and all of the unique ways to die.
I think I could after doing the bomb. I really think I could. As always, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Our handle is at Sips and Screams Pod. You can also email us old school, sipsandscreams.podcast@gmail.com. And we are everywhere where you get your podcasts. And if you do listen or watch, we would absolutely love it if you could leave us a rating and or a review. Don't be scared to do both. All right, you know what time it is, Allie. What time is it?
Oh, it is killer cocktail time.
What do we have tonight?
Yeah, we've got a fun one tonight. I did pick this one. I watched the movie, on rewatch, and in my mind, there was only one way to go with cocktails.
Which was?
And it is a vodka soda in a coffee mug in honor of Miss Luton.
Miss Luton.
Yeah. You know what? She started with tea. Tea wasn't quite cutting it.
No.
So she poured that tea out and she quickly went to the vodka, just vodka on ice. I added some soda water to mine.
Did she get a sip?
Topo Chico as always.
Did she get a sip before her demise?
She got a little taste. She did get a sip, Ash. But that scene, she spilled a lot of it. There happened to be a crack in it. There was vodka everywhere in that house that really helped lead to her demise.
It's true. Vodka was like a key ingredient there. Okay.
Vodka.
Death by vodka. Oh, Al, bravo.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
All right. I have, vodka San Pellegrino. I didn't have any topo, so.
Yeah, I'm drinking mine out of a Palm Springs mug. What have you got there, Ash?
Mine's my 27 League mug.
Oh, that's right, her band.
I've had a few different bands in my life, and this was my most recent one out of Missouri. Cheers to the TSL guys. I have this one mug, and I love it. It's my favorite.
All
right.
Cheers, Ash. Cheers to Final Destination. Cheers to vodka out of a coffee cup.
Don't spill it. It's going to be bad for you.
Yeah, it's delicious. You got some San Pellegrino? I have vodka, Kettle One.
San Pellegrino. I didn't even put lime in it, to be honest. It was like super lazy. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I definitely put a little splash of orange juice in mine, and it's delicious.
That's the beauty of drinking out of a coffee mug.
That's right. This could be anything.
It could be anything.
I'm saying it's vodka.
It could be straight Baileys. You don't know. Straight tequila. All right, we're moving on to Sips and Synopsis, where we discuss the plot of Final Destination. Allie, like, take it away. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. And so, you mentioned before, we're going back all the way to 2000, year 2000. So for our listeners, where were you in March 2000? Did you go to the theater right away to see this? Because we certainly did.
Yeah. It's a quintessential, like, millennial high school.
Yeah, and there were a lot of them. That kind of 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, definitely an era of horror that I just loved.
This was it, though. I feel like besides Scream, we already discussed Scream in an earlier episode. Like, Final Destination was amazing. It was like people at their peak. Just such a cool idea. Yeah, very innovative.
Great cast, great script. And it was originally written, I guess, as a script for the X-Files. Mm-hmm. And so originally not supposed to be, a feature film.
Denied. They denied it. They didn't want it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, you said we're going to talk about the plot. I mean, they come up with the most creative ways for people to reach their demise. I mean, that's what the movie is.
That's what the movie is. That's what all of the sequels have been. It's just like, what's it going to be? Is it the knife? Is it the water?
And usually there's a lot of misdirection. Yeah, there's a lot of misdirection. You don't know, what you think it's going to be is usually not how they meet their demise.
You know what it is? It's not the one you most suspect or least suspect. It's the one you most medium
suspect.
It's very Dwight from The Office. It's the one you most medium expect. And like, that's how they're going to die. Although they do... You'll discuss the plot, but they do kind of give you a lot of foreshadowing. They've done this even better in the sequels of how they're going to die, but it's just like kind of fun to watch it, to be honest.
Well, on rewatch too, right? I mean, the first time you're watching it, you don't necessarily know what all these things are, but yeah, they do a fantastic job with it. Yeah. So, starts out, the kids, all these students are getting ready for a trip. They're in high school and they're going on their senior trip to Paris, France. I know. That's pretty amazing.
Where are they? Like, what town is it? Because like, who goes to Paris? Like,
it's New York or it's New York, New Jersey, because they're flying out of JFK. So they're all getting ready. It's the night before. We even see. So we're introduced right away to Devon Sawa, aka Alex in the movie, our main protagonist.
Casper himself.
Yeah, Casper himself. Idle Hands. I mean, he was in some great horror movies in the 90s. Yeah,
most recently, Hard Eyes.
Oh, that's right. I love that he was in Hard Eyes. For those of you who've seen Hard Eyes, if not, watch it. A great turn for Devon Sawa in that movie.
It's a great watch.
Yeah. But yeah, they're packing and even as they're packing to go on this trip, we're starting to see some signs, like his clock turns from 1 o'clock to 1:80, which is the flight number. And so there's just some curious things happening that Devon Sawa that Alex is seeing.
That breeze coming through the window.
Yeah, the breeze. Yeah, the breeze is like a foreshadow. Yeah, it's sort of
it's a main character.
Yeah, it is. The wind is the main character. I mean,
absolutely.
It's not the only horror movie that's done that.
Well, you better save that for cliches and ripoffs because I have a
we'll save point. Yeah, we'll save that one. But yeah, so we've got Alex. We've got they're all going to JFK for their senior trip. So their flight leaves in the evening. Of course, they're taking the red eye over there on Voile Airlines. And their French teachers.
Voile Airlines. The French airline?
VOLEE. I don't know.
Voile.
I think there's like E accent go on it. Maybe it's Voile. Voile Airlines.
Is it VOI or VOLL?
I think it's VOLEE actually. So maybe it's not Voile. Thanks for correcting me. Voile.
I took 12 years of French, as did you.
That's right. Okay, so we've got all the students. They're arriving at JFK for their evening flight to Paris. So we are introduced to, of course, we have our main protagonist, Alex. We're introduced to Clear, played by Ali Larder. She's kind of
Clear, not Claire.
Clear. It's Clear.
It's Clear. It's Clear. I didn't even know that. The whole time I was like, Claire. And then you go look it up and you're like, it's Clear?
It's Clear. Yeah. I don't know. But all these names. So as I go through them, so all of the characters were named after famous horror icons, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. So I think...
Hitchcock.
Billy Hitchcock. So let's go through them. So we've got Billy Hitchcock, played by Sean William Scott, aka Stifler, for those American Pie fans out there. So he's kind of the nerdy, and it's an interesting character term for him, right? Because usually he's like the bully. He's like the nerdy kind of guy, you know, just
he's
really
like the on and
kind of nerdy. Yeah. Then you've got Carter and his girlfriend Terry. So Carter, played by Kerr Smith, again, I think kind of going against his character in Dawson's Creek. So he's the bully character, and he's got, you know,
he's
the
like an a-hole,
and he is an a-hole.
Keeping it clean here, Ellen Sips and Screams.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we're not about the foul language.
Okay. And then we've got the two brothers, Todd, and I don't know the other brother's name, but I know the one guy's name is Todd.
Yeah, we all know it was Todd. Yeah, I don't know the other guy's name either.
Yeah.
Were they twins?
I don't think they were twins. I don't think they were twins.
Are they going on the same trip though?
Okay, you're right. Like they were brothers and they were in the same class. It was a senior trip. They must have twins then. Senior twin died?
Yeah, I know. I thought, okay, we haven't even gotten there yet. Like,
we will. I know. I have some things to talk about.
Like, yeah, I think they were like fraternal twins, because it wasn't like grade 12 going in like grade 9. I know that.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
He should have been a little more upset, not like shaving, like just like la la la.
I guess the weeks have passed, but still, you know what, Ash, you're jumping ahead.
Weeks have passed. If that happened to you, I would be like inconsolable.
Obviously, I would. I would probably just go jump off a cliff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. But, Todd and his brother, who's nameless, but, he's not really in it very long. So that's okay. And then we have Miss Luton. So she's one of the teachers. And then there's another teacher. Again, I don't even remember the guy's name, but not in the movie.
The gray-haired guy.
Yeah,
it's like the gray-haired guy and then Miss Luton, who was like a hottie, like a 25-year-old. I don't know, right? Like the teacher. Wait, so you have to talk about not Claire, but she was such a, her character's so interesting when she's introduced, because she's like reading about, she's like the ultimate pick-me girl, also playing against characters.
Oh, she is like a pick-me girl.
Varsity Blues.
She's in her hair, they dyed her hair dark too.
Yeah, it was dark.
For the first part of the movie, right? Yeah.
Just didn't want anything to do with anybody else.
Seems smart, right? And so does Alex. So Alex seems like he's smart as well. So, but they don't seem to be like the popular ones. But yeah, so they're all getting ready. They board this plane. There's some kind of signs as they're getting ready to board, like the flight attendant tells Alex that his birthday is the same as the departure time. There's kind of these little things that he's
9:25.
Yeah. And so we're seeing it too, right? So we're seeing him see these things. All right. So they're on the plane, and right from the very beginning, right, it really starts off. And Alex has a premonition that this plane is going to blow up effectively and crash and kill everyone on board.
You don't know this at the time. This is a premonition. You think that it's like happening in real time.
Yeah. So they play it all out for you, and basically you see everyone die. And then Alex wakes up and he's like
sweating profusely.
Yeah, that felt real. And he starts to freak out. And, others are upset because he's disturbing the plane. Carter punches him out, and a bunch of them get thrown off the plane.
I would freak out more being like the last seat on the plane. He was like 25C. Which seems like a small plane, actually.
Wasn't he in the middle seat too, or no?
Yeah, he chose the middle seat.
Yeah, he chose it.
He was like
someone
last row by the bathroom.
He chose the middle.
Like, oh my goodness.
I think he had a fear of flying or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, and after that, so a bunch of them get kicked off. So Carter and his girlfriend get kicked off because Carter punched Alex out.
He's very aggressive.
Scott's character, Billy, is late. He just kind of gets kicked off as well with them.
Billy doesn't know what's going on. Was he?
He was late. We didn't talk about this.
Talk about them. We have to talk.
Okay. All right. We have to talk about this before getting on. That Todd comes up to Alex and mentions that he really should go to the bathroom before. Is that what you're talking about? Before getting on the plane. Yeah.
It's like out of nowhere. It's like, do you want like Carly and Brenda to like come in the bathroom after you and smell the stench? Like it's like a
5-hour flight or something to Paris from New York.
It's like 7-hour flight.
It's not long. And they're like in the bathroom together. Like
it's so weird.
It's an out of place moment of the movie.
Is this something that people think about? Like,
do guys think about that? Let us know before getting on a plane. Like, and are you going to use the airplane bathroom? Okay, so they get kicked off, right? He's saying like he had this vision that the plane was going to crash. Obviously they're questioning him at this point. The teachers come off, and one of the teachers, the woman, and the Miss Luton and the guy, and she tells him to go back on because he speaks better French. He gets back on the plane. So we have our survivors, and they're watching it.
Comment allez-vous?
But they go back on that plane, and Carter is pissed off because they got kicked off. But they all watched that plane blow up, and it's very sad, right? I mean, a lot of their friends just died, but these 7 who got off the plane survived, and naturally they're getting questioned by the FBI because, like, how did you know that was going to blow up?
And they all know this because Alex when he was getting off the plane, he's like, the plane's going to explode when it takes off, right? And they're like, what?
He told them.
So like when they see it, they look at him like he's a witch doctor,
well, you would.
psychic.
My God. Yeah, or you would think that he did it or something.
He did it, yeah. I guess that's the more likely scenario.
And this was year 2000. So, we all know what happened in 2001. So I think the fact that Final Destination came out when it did, had it come out after that, I don't think it would have, done as well or had the same impact. So they're all getting questioned, by the FBI at the airport, right? I mean, clearly it's odd that Alex knew this was going to happen.
Odd.
Yeah. So they're kind of on the FBI's radar. So now, cut to the memorial that's held. Obviously, a lot of their classmates have died. So that's, again, very sad. Yeah, and really the rest of the movie is just, again, like I said at the beginning, unique ways that people reach their demise.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Cheers to creative kills, everybody.
Yeah, creative kills. And I don't think anyone does it better than Final Destination.
Absolutely not.
So first up on the demise list is the brother Todd. So like you mentioned earlier, he's shaving in the bathroom.
Immediately cuts himself.
Yeah, immediately cuts himself whilst shaving. But that's not how he dies. That's not how he dies. He actually trips and manages to hang himself with the shower curtain. And that's
was it the shower curtain? What was the string?
What was like this? A string that was holding up the shower curtain. It's a little unclear, Ash.
And there was like that blob water coming out.
Yeah. There's always kind of that it was like a blue, right? It was like a blue, like water.
Toilet water. Yeah.
Death, I guess. But they don't know about this yet, right? So, Todd reaches his demise. But everyone thinks that he's committed suicide. And somehow Alex knows about this too, right? So Alex did not just see the premonition about the plane crashing, but he's also now seeing other things. Like it's the newspaper he's reading and it cuts off a piece, it shreds it, and he sees Todd's name on it. So again, he's continuing to get these premonitions.
The newspaper, you mean the Penthouse? He okay, you totally skipped over this.
Okay, we have to talk. Okay, I know. We have to talk
on
about
his like 2000 computer, which I guess they didn't have like porn or something in 2000 where you could go
I'm sure they had porn in 2000.
Well, he didn't search it. He's like reading about like a newspaper about his friends.
Clear.
And he's like, I guess he needs to distract himself.
No, Clear. So he sees a picture of Clear.
He sees a picture of Clear.
It's specifically, he sees a picture of Clear. Then he reaches for his penthouse.
I just thought like he needed a distraction. No, he reaches in his drawer.
No, he got aroused by Clear. And then I guess he needed a little more.
That wasn't as clear. He reaches in his drawer, pulls out the penthouse, and
that's right,
is reading that and looks like frustrated or whatever. And then like it goes. Again, he has this like fan, and the penthouse that gets like torn up.
Penthouse, the newspaper. All right. Well, so
I needed to clarify
that. No, and thank you, Ash. Thank you for clarifying that. Like the listeners need to know
the one penthouse magazine.
I'm sure he has more than one. Okay, so Alex sees Todd's name. They find out that Todd committed suicide, right? Really, death killed him. But Alex goes over to Clear's house. He sees her. It's written down. Clear's just she's welding. But she takes off her like welding mask, and
her character's kind of uneven. To be honest,
I think they were going to go some different directions with her character.
Wait until we get to alternate endings. Like you will not even believe.
Okay, I am very excited. So they both know Todd is dead. They think that he's committed suicide. So Alex and Clear decide to go and break into the funeral home, I guess, to see his body. I guess
she was very excited about it.
She was excited.
Yeah, she's like, I like doing things I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, so they break into the funeral home. They go in there. They find Todd's body. But not just Todd in there. They also see Mr. Candyman himself is there, the mortician. Yeah.
The best cameo. And like he's only in this movie for what, 20 seconds?
20 seconds, yeah.
He's in a lot of the sequels, but my goodness, he is scene stealing, just amazing. Ominous presence. He gives a really good monologue. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And
He's again real soon.
Yeah, exactly. And he's very knowledgeable about death and death's design, right? So this is when they start thinking about that. So Alex and Clear kind of leave the funeral home with an idea in their head, right? That death has a plan for you. So now cut to the next day. Clear and Alex kind of disagree on how Todd died, right? Clear thinks he did commit suicide. But this is, they're at the cafe. Alex is still starting to see some visions. He sees this like bus go by in the window. Yeah. Carter and his girlfriend Terry show up. Billy's also there on his bike and gets hit by Carter, right? And
he like deliberately hits it.
Yeah, he hits him on the bus.
Hey, man,
Carter's the worst.
He's the worst.
Carter and his girlfriend Terry and Billy, they're all there. They see Alex and Clear. They're fighting again. So they're still not getting along, right? Even though basically Alex saved their lives. Terry's just like upset. She tells them to drop dead. And then she just immediately gets hit by that bus.
It
all happens very, very fast. Yeah, completely smashed by that bus. So Todd's the first to meet his demise. Terry is the second to meet her demise.
Yeah. Drink to that. To Terry. She had 3 scenes.
Yeah, not died by a bus. Yeah, really quickly. Had a great last line.
Had a horrible boyfriend.
Yeah, horrible boyfriend. Yeah, he's not a good guy. So later that night, Alex is watching TV and they reveal that the flight plan. So they now know why the plane blew up. And Alex gets in his head. He takes a look at the flight plan. He actually realizes that the deaths are happening in the order that they would have happened on the plane.
Ooh.
So he knows who's next.
I love his little, this is whole scene where he has like tracing paper and he puts it up to the TV and because they said
on the TV screen, right?
Show that on the TV screen. They're showing the path of the explosion.
Yes.
And they show it and he's like, oh, yeah. And he puts up the tracing paper and traces the plane and draws these weird lines. He's like, oh, I can tell where the fire would have went and people would have died.
Yeah.
Which is just weird. They wouldn't show that level of detail on TV.
No. And I mean to have the foresight to do that too, but you know what he did? And he figured out that Miss Luton is next.
He did.
Yeah. And again, the rest, I wasn't
freaked out by him.
Yeah. The entire movie is, starts out with that premonition with the plane crash. The rest of it is just people dying. I mean, this is what the movie is. So yeah, now it's Miss Luton's turn. But she's getting out of there. So it's at this point,
getting out of Dodge.
A couple of weeks. Yeah. So she feels guilt for the other teacher dying, for all the students dying. So she's moving. So she's packing that night. Pours herself a cup of tea in a coffee mug. Looks at her window, actually sees Alex out there. And she is very freaked out by him, right? And Alex is there because he knows that she's next. So he's kind of he's there to keep an eye on her. But to the cops and everyone, I mean, Alex is at every single death scene.
I'm surprised that they couldn't hold him or whatever. But you look out, see some teenager creeping around your yard who was there, who was always around for the other deaths. Of course, she calls 911 or the cops, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. And they come and pick him up. So she's having her tea, but she's no, screw that. I need something a little stronger. So she gets that vodka out and she starts drinking her vodka out of her coffee cup, whilst playing John Denver, on the record player. So you'll hear throughout the movie, there's a lot of John Denver songs in it. Right. And so John Denver, famously died in a plane crash. So again, they're using music. They're using a lot of things in this movie, to kind of key into, what's going to happen.
And John Denver music is pretty soothing. You know what I mean? You don't really associate it with something ominous.
Yeah, well,
but he died in 1997.
It's sexy music. There's that country song. Put on some John Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can go in different ways, I guess. I'm not sure about that either. More folky.
It's more folky.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'd call it
is Bob Dylan music sexy?
I don't think so, Ash. No, more making
poetry
and whatnot. Yeah. I wouldn't call it that, but teach their own. Some people, I guess, think it is. So Miss Luton, she's got her vodka coffee cup. We notice there's a crack in that coffee cup. Vodka is just, as she, walks around her apartment, her house, and she goes to her computer, vodka's just spilling everywhere.
She doesn't notice. It is just straight vodka.
Yeah, it's vodka on ice in a coffee cup. And she's walking around and it's just vodka everywhere. She had to light the gas burner earlier for her tea. So there's all these kind of things that are going to add up.
She puts the rag
the rag
onto
over the
knife,
knives.
the knife rack.
On top of the knives, yeah. But she goes in, she spills
Like,
some of the
what's it
vodka
gonna
on her
be?
computer.
You're like,
you don't
waiting.
know. They're showing you so many.
You're like,
things.
is it bad?
Is it going to be the computer? Is it going to fall on her? No, it isn't.
Spoiler alert, it's all of them.
Yeah, it really all led to her demise.
Goddamn mousetrap.
Yeah, it really is. So she, vodka drips on that computer. The computer starts smoking and the computer explodes because of this. And
so
a piece of that computer, a piece of that computer hits her in the neck.
A piece of the computer?
Right at the throat. Yes, a piece of the computer.
That was like
explodes. No, that's not how she dies though. So she leaves. So wait for it.
Right in the carotid.
She's walking around. She's got a piece of the computer in her throat. At this point, like the gas burner is, so the vodka helped light everything on fire. So there's just like a bunch of fire in the house.
It helps.
She goes out. Yeah. She grabs that towel. She slips on the vodka, is on the ground. And as she is grabbing for the towel, all of the knives just stab her. So she just gets stabbed like multiple times by these knives. And you think that's how she died. But that's not how she dies.
Poor woman. Sorry.
Anyway.
She's not dead yet?
No, I don't think she's dead. Just multiple knives go on her. Yeah. Her house is on fire. I mean, if it wasn't going to be the knives, she was going to blow up on her house. Yeah.
It's like a knife, like straight down in the middle of her chest. Like, I think she's dead. I think she is at that point. Alex, meanwhile, sees all of this and he sees that there's a fire. So he goes in and he pulls the knife out of her. Yeah.
Right. So he's now standing there.
Don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do that.
His fingerprints are everywhere now in that house too. His bloody footprints are there. But he gets out and the house just blows up. Billy, for some reason, is going by on his bike and he sees it. Like, what a death scene. Yeah. So Miss Luton met her demise in a very intricate way, very detailed.
I think that's the best scene in the movie. It's so good. And have Billy coming by. His bike, like now and then.
Mr. Billy Hitchcock.
Billy Hitchcock, like now and then, like going like, what's this?
You love bringing up now and then whenever you have the opportunity to. I think we drink every time you bring up now and then.
I just think those old school bicycles and driving around the small town. Yeah, it's very now and then.
Yeah. And like Stranger Things.
Yeah, but they borrowed it from now and then. So, Al, who copied
it all
who?
Goes back to that.
It goes back to now and then.
Early 90s, now and then. All right, so we've got Clear, Billy, Carter. They're still left. Alex is left. They go to Alex because obviously they're freaking out now and they want to know like what's going on. And Alex at this point has figured out, the order in which they are all going to meet their demise. Mm-hmm. They want to know. So they also know the cops are looking for Alex because, again, his fingerprints are on the knife in Miss Layton's house, as well as his footprints. Where else should he go but a cabin in the woods? So Clear her dad has a cabin in the woods, so they're trying to take him there. Again, it gets kind of very convoluted in this moment.
You know where he should go, where everyone should go. Yeah. I thought about this. It's like a padded room somewhere. Always go to a padded room.
I agree.
There's no knives, no kettles.
In the second one, right?
There's the second one.
Yeah. But Alex is like freaking out. He's randomly in the beach. They're looking for him. So Clear finds Alex on the beach. She's trying to get him to go to his, her dad's cabin in the woods. We find out that both of her parents are dead, right? I think her dad died and her mom remarried and her mom doesn't want her. So
her dad died.
Story of her.
Yeah, but she comes down like this weird maze. Apparently the beach was filmed. It was like a regular beach and then they added all these like palm trees and stuff. I think it was filmed in Vancouver. And they have it almost like a maze where she comes down and like finds Alex and then gives her whole background story, which her father, went out for milk and never came back. No, it wasn't like that. He went out to get cigarettes.
Oh, that's
at
right.
a 7-Eleven. Yeah. And the guy was like, don't turn around. And then he turned around, I think it was like a joke or something. And someone, apparently, according to Clear, blew his head right off. And I guess they were in the parking lot. And then her mother remarried and the guy didn't want a kid. So she was kind of abandoned.
Yeah. But she had her welding to keep her company.
She had her welding, she had her books,
Right. That's right.
All of that to keep her company.
Yep. So they chat a bit in the movie and then she wants him to go to the cabin, but
they do a lot more than that in the alternate ending.
Oh, okay then. Well, in the movie that I saw
that's
on rewatch,
my little plant.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Well, they get in the car with Carter. So we've got Billy, Carter, Alex, and Clear in this car. And Carter's just freaking out, right? He's kind of telling them that death has a design. They're dying in the order they would have on the plane. Carter's freaking out. He's like, well, if death's going to get me, he's like, I'm not going to go out that way. And so he drives erratically to the train tracks and gets stuck on that train track. Earlier, as they're driving, Alex has another premonition. He sees a broken seatbelt. And so he kind of clocks that, right? So the three of them, Billy, Alex, and Clear, manage to get out of the car, but Carter is somehow locked in. The train is coming. Carter's in trouble. Alex goes out, even though Carter's been horrible to him and a bully to him, goes in and saves him. And he knows because of his earlier premonition that he can break that seatbelt. And so he gets Carter out of there, and the four of them are saved from the train anyway. Well, the four of them are saved at that moment from 4 seconds. Yeah. And then a piece of the train falls off, or a piece of the car, and it just goes and decapitates Billy. His whole head.
Sean William Scott. It's kind of like half of his head. It's kind of like half. It's not the whole head. If you go back, guys, let's go back and rewatch it.
His head falls off.
It falls off, but it's not like a clean cut. It kind of I was surprised rewatching it. I'm like, it's almost like by the jaw.
You expected the piece of shrapnel that came off of the car, the train hitting the car, to give a clean cut to him. Maybe they were trying to make it realistic, Ash.
I expected a Mrs. Voorhees situation where it was like a clean cut to the neck. It wasn't. It was like I swear it was more realistic. Maybe
maybe if it was Alice using an axe to do it, it would have been a clean cut, Ash. But it was Death that doing it.
It was clean cut. It just wasn't at the neck. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it was almost like
Ash is upset that it wasn't a clean cut. Everybody.
No, I'm not upset. I think it was more realistic. I think. Well, I mean, it would have been nice if it was a clean, but that's not the real world. That's not the real world, everybody.
It isn't. But let's get back on track here. Billy's head no longer on his body, no longer attached to his body. We've got Clear, Carter, and Alex left.
Where are they going though? We haven't talked about that.
They're going to the cabin in the woods at this point.
Yeah. But Clear's abandoned father's dead father's
abandoned cabin in the woods.
Why?
And so they hide him out there because basically the cops are looking for him because they think that he killed people. I mean, and naturally so, right? He happened to be at every single murder
Where
scene.
are his parents? We never see his parents.
Yeah, we don't. You're right. We don't see them.
Why are
we see them
his parents
at the beginning,
protecting him?
And then we don't see them again. You're right.
We see them sleeping on the couch, watching. They're all happy that he didn't die in the plane crash. And then we never see them again. We never see any of the parents ever again.
No, you really don't. And so, but they're hiding him out. Not only are the cops looking for him, but Alex thinks he's next, right? So and then he's in that cabin. He's eating, I think is he eating cat food or dog food at one point, Ash? Because I have that written down.
What is he eating that looks disgusting?
I think it's dog food.
He doesn't seem to enjoy it. He's eating dog food.
So how long is he out there for? So he's already resorting to eating dog food. How
he just arrived and he's opening up the can. He's
so hungry.
I gotta eat it. What?
I mean, I don't know why they didn't plan.
Why would they have cat food out there though? Or dog food?
I don't know, Ash. I'm not sure.
I think it's cream,
We're also not sure it's dog food.
Spam. What is it? He doesn't seem to enjoy it.
Spam, because spam's a very specific. It didn't look like tuna.
You know what it's like? It's like Michael Scott
to me.
That episode where he goes out to the forest, to do Survivor Band. And he's out there for 2 hours and has to go find food. That's what this is like. He immediately gets there, rigs the house, and it's I need some nourishment. I'm going to go eat this weird canned meat.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. But he's in this thing. He's kind of almost, it feels like death is after him in there, right? Meanwhile, the FBI goes to Clear's house. They're looking for Alex. But she eventually does lead them to the cabin, right? Because they tell her that they're looking for him. So she eventually does let them know where he is. She does. So the cops show up there, but during his time out there while he's eating his cat food or whatever it is, he realizes that he got it wrong because he never switched his seat. And actually, he's not next, but Clear is next. So he leaves and manages to escape the cops that are chasing him in the woods, and tries to go save Clear from her demise.
But not before escaping his own certain death which was some booby trapped thing where he was supposed to die, and like some knife comes through the door, but he's able to like get her. He's able to escape.
No, but he thinks it's going to be like, because he was saying like,
there's some real overacting. It's some real Mark Ruffalo overacting.
I think that like he's supposed to be in there longer. Like I think it's supposed to have been like days at that point because he's going crazy or something.
I think so, because it's like it doesn't quite add up. But he's really right. He's like, I saved him. I know I can do. He's like has like God complex at this point.
It does, yeah,
and is overacting. And it's like kind of funny to watch actually.
It is funny. But, he makes his way to Clear's house. And at this point, so Clear's alone. We know she's all that welding material and everything. And lightning strikes her house, the tree, right? And a wire goes down and there's just like a live wire.
It's like a snake.
Yeah.
Going through
and there's like live wires. And so she's like trying to escape this, and she ends up in her car and there's just a live wire, just moving erratically outside. Mm-hmm. And so if she touches anything in that car, she's going to be electrocuted.
Right.
So Alex knows that. He knows that she's in the car, and because of the rubber tires that she's grounded. So she'll be okay, like in the car. Mm-hmm. So he, wants to save her. So he goes and he grabs that wire and basically electrocutes himself. And she's able to get out. And then it cuts to 6 months later. And so Clear survives. We find out actually that Alex also survives that.
They had a real glow up too.
Yeah, they did. Her hair's blonde now.
His hair is like more or less, it's blonde too.
Yeah. So they have blonde hair now. They're friends, the three of them, and they fly to Paris 6 months later. So they get on a plane, they go to Paris. They're enjoying a drink, in a little cafe in Paris, the three of them.
Would they be a drinking age? Like they're only 18?
Yeah, it's 18.
It's 18 there. Okay.
In France. That's right.
Okay.
So that tracks. So they're having a drink, reminiscing how they cheated death, right? But I guess they realized that it skipped over people. So
mourning all their friends with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Alex starts seeing things again right at this moment. It seems that even Clear is seeing things. So she's almost getting the premonitions now. And a sign falls. Carter actually saves it from killing Alex. Mm-hmm. And then Carter asks Alex, because he intervened, it's going to skip Alex. And he's like, who's next? And we realize that it's Carter. And then just the movie ends. So the assumption is that Carter dies from the sign.
Right.
And that's it. That is Final Destination, the original in 2000.
Bravo. It's, it really moves. I think there was some
I know it's
liberties taken with the editing. Clearly they were going to talk about
alternate I need to hear about these alternate endings and what happened on that beach.
Everybody, it is wild. The alternate endings are insane. That's all I have to say about that. So we already talked about kind of the inspiration for this movie, and it was kind of based on a script that was actually denied by the X-Files. They tried to sell it. Reddick tried to sell it to X-Files and it was denied. But it also has some other inspirations. It was based on a 1984 movie called Soul Survivor. So it was like this lone survivor of a plane crash. It was haunted by the people that died, right, in the plane crash. And it also, our favorite, Twilight Zone.
Oh, yes. Apparently, I knew that.
There's an episode where this woman, she has like the same thing, the visions, the premonitions. And one of them was like a flight exploding when it took off.
So was it Nightmare at 30,000 feet? Was it that one, Ash?
No, it wasn't that one. That one was different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was also based off of the actual plane crash itself was based off of the actual, was it TSA flight in the 90s that crashed?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was actually based on a real, like the actual flight blowing up was actually based on a real plane. And it was like a high school class going to Paris, right? Yeah.
The whole thing. Yeah. That's like horrible. And that was out of New York. Yeah, you're right. And they I guess they looked at like the footage of the wreckage and all of that. And then they based a lot of what they filmed like based on that as well. So make it like real world, whatever, which is just horrible. So I guess originally the name for the movie was not Final Destination. It was Flight 180.
Oh, okay. That was the flight. Okay.
And you can see like the 180 like everywhere throughout the kind of in the background. Right. And Alex's like alarm clock and other places throughout the movie. It was supposed to be Flight 180, but I guess it was 2000, and when they filmed it was like 1999. And so like some other flight movies that come out like Con Air and Air Force One. So like we don't want to call it Flight something. So they went with Final Destination, which I mean, way better name.
Way better name.
Way better name. It's like amazing and like launched the whole franchise. When did we see this movie? Do you remember?
So it was March 2000. We saw it in the theater, I believe, the theater back home. Yeah, we went and saw it with friends. We were so excited about it because the trailer for this movie, like I remember this, when it first came out. This was right, a couple of years after Scream.
Yeah.
It was a very exciting time for horror. But yeah, we saw this in the theater, I feel like close to opening weekend.
Yeah, we went with friends, and it's so interesting because the fashion and everything is like spot on. You like it's like a time capsule when you watch it, right? Yeah. Like the striped shirts and like all those things. But yeah, man, that opening scene, I think that's one of the best like 5 minutes of film ever I've ever seen.
And it moves fast, like you said, right? Like you kind of get your
it's so good
enjoyment like early. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, there's some humor in it. There's obviously it's a horror movie. It's great.
Yeah, and it's like for a high school movie too. It's just really good. It's like smarter. Yeah, some of the other ones you've seen. All right, it's time for Screamometer. Allie, I'm so excited. What are you giving this one?
Yeah, Screamometer out of 10.
Allie's always like, you tell me she's like,
know what I'm going to say when I start with yeah. Okay, love the movie. Love that it's that kind of classic horror. Mm-hmm. Really, really not scary for me. Maybe back in the day, I'm trying to think back. What was my mindset in March 2000, and maybe I was scared back then.
What
Definitely
was your mindset?
Scared. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I feel like maybe I thought it was scary. Definitely don't think it was scary at all on rewatch. I enjoyed it very much. Don't get me wrong, listeners. I enjoy this movie very, very much. But on a Screamometer, like, did it scare me? Is it keeping me awake at night? No. So Screamometer, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10 for me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I pretty much agree with everything you just said. Like it wasn't scary, but I was delighted the entire time I watched it. I was
delighted too. Don't get me wrong.
So because of that, I'm giving it a 4 because I thought it was some creative kills. It was it was very campy, right? Yeah. Like it definitely paid homage to like 80s. It was like 80s, like an 80s type of slasher film, which I loved.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 4 because I absolutely loved this movie. I was so excited when we chose to do it because I'm like, this started a franchise, but it's a smart movie.
Yeah.
I think there's like tons of overacting, like ridiculous overacting, but the kills are good.
But they have like a good
cast. They did like Devon Sawa went full Mark Ruffalo.
Great. Yeah.
I saved him. I did this. Like it was so good. And Ali Larder and everyone, like you said earlier, everyone was playing against type. It was just like really, really good. Type. Yeah. And I think all of them are good. Final Destination 2 was good. 5 was like amazing. And if you haven't watched it, like spoiler alert, don't listen anymore, but it's like a prequel basically. And they're all so good.
They're so good. I think 2 may be even better than the first one. Like 2 with the logs. Yeah. That scarred me for life.
I think we should do 2 on a whole other episode.
Okay. We will.
I was driving on the highway. Whenever I'm on the highway, like behind a transport with any kind of like tree, any cylinder device, any cylinder like object. Actually,
I don't want to be behind it.
I'm like, you're going to switch lanes because no. And we all feel that way. Like everybody is scarred for life. Nobody wants that, tree trunk going straight through your skull.
Yeah.
So, Final Destination's like, it's iconic, really, really good. But one of the best.
They're still making them 25 years later, which is amazing.
So here's my question to you. Do you think it's better than Scream? The Scream franchise?
No. Absolutely not. No, I don't. And I'd say Scream even has some like interesting kills in it, right? Yeah. Usually they're getting stabbed or something, but
Scream is scarier.
Garage door. Yeah. Scream is definitely scarier. I think the plot's better. The characters are better.
Yeah.
No, definitely not better than Scream. It's a very different movie when the death is the killer, right?
Yeah.
Like it's this unseen force that's killing them.
And I almost find this movie, rewatching it, I'm like, it's horror, but it's more like thriller horror.
It's more thriller. Right?
It's not like Scream is horror because it was like the slasher killer.
Yeah, but it actually it's a whodunit. And I like whodunits. I mean, this one, it's not a whodunit. It's death. And so again, it's just creative ways for them to die. Like who's going to be next? Are they going to survive? Is someone going to intervene? But did you hear too? So Bloodlines just came out, and I guess there was a movie theater where the ceiling collapsed during a screening of Final Destination.
I feel like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, that's good, like marketing, right? But no, it was like real.
No, it was a real thing. Yeah, it was
that's
real.
So sad.
That is found. There's all these memes. It's like these, people today didn't watch like doing risky things. Like you didn't grow up and you were scarred for life by Final Destination.
Right.
Yeah. And like, these random ways that you could die.
Yeah. So exactly.
I think it's changed the course of my life.
Like same, like there's certain things like tanning beds.
Yeah, tanning beds.
Like, oh God, it's gonna lock me in there. But yeah, just I'm giving it a 4 just because like iconic level and just like a fantastic. This movie is amazing.
Oh, it's great. I'll watch all of them. I mean, it gets, I'll continue to watch every single one that's made.
Right. It is time for Sip and Tell, where we discuss our personal experiences related to the content of Final Destination. All right. So Sip and Tell. I have one and it's related, but it's more just like, I think our like millennial, upbringing, our millennial cohort. And we had many class trips. Right. We had many class trips. A lot of the time it was buses. We grew up in a bus. We take like
not
a
really
bus.
planes. Yeah.
No, like buses to like Montreal, buses to like Toronto. And I will say this, I didn't have a premonition. I didn't have a premonition of something horrible happening, but I did want to get off the bus. I will say that because people would like do stuff like, let me explain what do stuff means. Like,
what do you mean by that, Ash?
Because you'd be on this like 16-hour like bus ride.
16-hour bus ride.
16 hours, everybody. Rather than flying, you'd pay like $200 to like take a bus to Toronto. But if you fell asleep, people would like take pictures of you or like do something like embarrassing or like. So it was the whole thing of like you not wanting to fall asleep first. You know what I mean? I remember this like feeling, and I remember. We went on a band trip. And I remember like falling asleep first and someone like took a picture of me like sleeping. And when we were like 15, 16, that's the most embarrassing thing ever. Now I'd be like, whatever, like I don't care.
To the picture?
I don't know, but someone like showed it to me and I'm like, okay, like it's just like an embarrassing thing. And then we went to Disney. Remember in like grade 10, you and I, we took a plane ride to Disney. It was actually like our first plane ride. We were like 14. Yeah, 15. Yeah. And I remember that like feeling of just going with like 20 classmates, right? But there was always just like weird energy and not really the people you'd want to like go on a vacation with. You know what I mean? So that I think that's my sip and tell. Okay. I'm like, I appreciate
you can feel the pain of like Billy Hitchcock, for instance.
The pain of like being stuck on a device on a really like insular, claustrophobic plane with a bunch of people you don't really want to be on a plane with. So I definitely feel that that's like my sip and tell for this for sure.
Yeah. Well, okay. You made me think of something because on that bus trip, the 16-hour bus trip to Toronto,
16 hours.
Band, we're in a concert band, everybody in high school, an award-winning concert band. Ash played the clarinet. I played the flute.
I was first chair. Were you first chair?
I think so. Maybe by senior year I was.
Yeah.
I think by senior year I was. Yeah. But I think I had to work my way up there, Ash.
Yeah.
But so during this trip, I kind of did have my own like Final Destination moment because I was sleeping.
You did.
I was sleeping on this bus and like all of our instruments were up in the top part or whatever, stored away. And mine I've actually so this has happened to me multiple times where things have hit me in the head. Yes. Now that I'm thinking of it. And my flute like fell out and it came out and it hit me in the head. Like I was sleeping, or I guess maybe trying not to fall asleep so I didn't get pictures taken of myself, but I was awoken by my own flute hitting me in the head. Like it opened and then like the 3 pieces came out and hit me. So were
you okay?
I mean, it hurt, Ash. It hurt. It really did.
Next to did my clarinet come? I had the
no. It was just the flute. It was just the flute. No, only me. Only my flute came out and hit me in the head.
Was your flute okay?
I think the flute was okay. Yeah,
because you won an award.
Yeah, I did. You know what? And I played it the next night. So yeah, but and that's not. I'd like to say that was the first time that happened to me, but it isn't. When we were kids. When we were kids, I was like 6 years old. The ceiling, the light, the whatever that's called, the cover over the light. And I hope that my sister Donna Faye listens to this because it's escaping me what it's called.
My sister, our sister,
our sister Donna Faye. Yeah. Do you remember this? We'll tag you on Insta. Mm-hmm. But the covering for the light, it fell off and
the light fixture.
The light fixture. It hit her in the head. She's my older sister, so she was taller than me. Hit her in the head, bounced off her, and then hit me in the head. So this then like got me. 2 of us. No, I didn't. How? Where are you? Are you serious? It hit you too?
I think it went like boom, boom, boom.
It hit Donna Faye and then hit me.
She took the brunt of it.
She did. It bounced off her head, then hit me. So
I just like that viral video of like the fish that hits the 3 kids. Right? It was like boom, boom, boom. It was like a live fixture.
So
I think it hit me.
So like that's our Final Destination moment. That's like a freak thing that happens. We survived it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we're stronger for it. All right, it's time for Sips and Scares. So what were the scariest parts of Final Destination? And scariest parts, but also like the most creative death. Like that's what I'm thinking.
Let's add that in. Okay. Yeah. But I do have, I only gave it a 2 out of 10, so I don't find this to be scary. I do have 2 written down though that did make me jump. There were 2 things that made me jump. Mm-hmm. The first one was when Claire and Alex were in the funeral home and looking at Todd's body and his arm just like went up. So that was
it wasn't
scary.
out. It wasn't the funeral home. It was the morgue. You mean the morgue?
No, he was the mortician and it was the funeral home. He was getting him ready for the funeral.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't
broke into the funeral.
He wasn't in like the casket. He was like on the table. He was getting
the mortician was like embalming him. Yeah, he was getting embalmed.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, but his hand like involuntarily like moved and that was creepy.
Yeah.
And my second one is when Miss Luton looks out the window and sees Alex kind of is very Michael Myers-y kind of out there in her yard. And that made me very uneasy. And that was a great, great moment of the movie. But I really only had those 2, Ash.
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, I thought the opening credits were scary. They were so good.
Okay, I did like the opening credits.
Like the music and everything, and it was set the tone absolutely perfectly. I thought the first, and I'm taking a few liberties here. The whole plane scene was like so iconic, so perfect. Scary in terms like if you're someone that hates flying and has anxiety and is like claustrophobic,
don't watch that movie.
That was really scary for me. And he's like sweating and like freaking out. Like for me, I'm like, that was a lot because I get like that as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really scary. In terms of like the deaths, I thought the teacher, her death, like it was a whole 5-minute thing.
Was
like what's going to kill her. It was the best one.
It was.
And she sees like the dark shadows on the kettle. Right. And then she puts her towel like over the knives. She gets the vodka. Like, you're just like, what's it going to be? Like, it's so good.
And even like, it's all of it. All added to it, Yeah, definitely better than the Todd one. I agree.
It was so good. The train track one was like anxiety provoking, right? Because the train's coming. It wasn't like scary, but I thought it was anxiety provoking. The decapitation was great.
Apparently, you thought it was more realistic than other decapitations. Where does it rank, Ash, in terms of decapitations in horror movies for you?
I thought it was really good. No, I mean, number 1 is definitely Mrs. Voorhees. Like nothing will ever top that. But this one was pretty good. Because Mrs. Voorhees was like a lot of buildup. This was like just like automatic, like decapitated. But I thought it was good. I thought the plane, going back to the plane again, when they get sucked out the window.
Oh God, yes.
Like laughing at,
and they get sucked out the window.
The fire, and they're like burning up, and those 2 women get sucked. They're trying to like save the person. They get sucked out the window. Like that's absolutely terrifying. Just in terms of like thinking about that could actually happen. Yeah. And it was just, I mean, good. Not scares. I mean, you pointed out a few, but more like just really good scenes and like terror inducing. Yeah. And I loved it. All right. We're moving on to cliches and ripoffs. So what ripped off Final Destination and what did it rip off? And what were the cliches? Number 1, I think you will agree with me. Bridesmaids. I mean, Bridesmaids. When Annie is like, this plane's going down, or she's like, I saw a colonial
woman turning butter
out of the plane. But she's like the freak out. But then Alex is like, this plane's going down. Like that whole thing was so good.
But that was from Twilight Zone, right? So like it ripped off Twilight Zone, or was inspired by Twilight Zone, and so was Bridesmaids. Yeah. It was that Nightmare at 30,000 feet.
Who did it better, Alex or Annie, in terms of like a freak out on the plane? Because they both had actually, they get off the plane. Annie's there's just like land. But which one was better for you?
I think Annie. I think I'll never forget that. And I love when she's talking to the person next to her, and she's like, "And you were there." She had and you were there. She's like, "What?"
I have one in this. Okay. And if you haven't read R.L. Stine books, I mean, whatever. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably read them when you were younger.
I'm sure you did. Yeah.
Go read them. I would even read them now as an adult, but like they were fantastic. Like the R.L. Stine Fear Street ones. So there's this whole series called The Cheerleaders. And actually, I think this ripped it off a little bit. So in The Cheerleaders, like one of the cheerleaders becomes evil. You don't know which one it is. And then in the third one, she has to drown herself to get rid of the evil. And there's this whole like total scene.
Yeah.
She just like kill herself. And I thought that was really kind of reminiscent of this, more kind of like the sequels actually, where they like pretend to kill themselves. But I thought that was like really kind of reminiscent of R.L. Stein.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely was. And I think so in terms of the kills of this movie, and there's, I think, too many to name at this point, but was Final Destination the first one to do where you step out and get hit by a bus? Because it has happened so many times. I mean, Mean Girls. Mean Girls. This is my question. Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, Mean Girls. Meet Joe Black. Did Meet Joe Black come out before this?
Yes, Meet Joe Black did come out before this.
So it ripped off Meet Joe Black.
It did.
Brad Pitt just gets pummeled by a bus.
By it.
I think that it ripped off Meet Joe Black.
Yeah, but no one else said, and I hope you drop dead. I mean, she had the best line, I think, before it. But yeah, Meet Joe Black was in the 90s.
Well, what was Mean Girls? What was Regina George? What did she say?
In the 2000s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What did she say?
Yeah.
Did she
Hers was like really good as well.
Yeah, it was good.
But that Mean Girls definitely ripped this up. She did survive it. I think Home Alone, like when he's at the cabin, he's like, I rigged the cabin. I feel like stuff was cut. He was only in the cabin for like 2 seconds. He ate the can of tuna and then he bounced.
Must have been. Right? Was it tuna? Again, I think it was dog food. I think he was we were supposed to think that he had been there for a while and was going crazy, a la like Jack from The Shining. Like, I think that's what we were supposed to like think. Or like 1408.
It was a 2-second scene. Well, but he was like, I rigged this cabin. I got you. And then he immediately leaves. So like, what? Like there was some editing weirdness happening in this movie. I thought the end was very Nightmare on Elm Street, right? When it's almost like a dream sequence when they're all of a sudden in Paris.
Yes.
They're all like have a glow
happy. It's all happy.
And then something horrible happens. No, I thought that was very Nightmare on Elm Street. And then number one for me, and we alluded to it earlier. Number one for me is 100%. It ripped it off. It ripped off Final Destination.
Yeah.
M. Night. The Happening. It was the wind. The trees did it.
The trees did it.
If you haven't watched it, guys, it's the trees. The trees are the evil.
We'll have to cover The Happening, Ash, on one of these.
I think we should just because like I need to rewatch that movie. It's so...
I saw The Happening in the theater. I sort of take the other, like, and there's a lot of creative kills in that one too. The whole movie's kind of Final Destination-y.
Very.
Really. It's just another take on it, I guess.
The whole movie is crazy. We talked about this before, but like watch the trailer, like they have this like honest trailer.
The honest trailer, yeah.
It's so good. It's like better than the movie. But yeah, The Happening for me with the wind. The wind was the main character. All right, it is time for alternate endings. Buckle up.
I am so excited. Okay.
Buckle up.
I'm getting ready. I've got my cocktail. I am just waiting over here. I'm so excited.
Buckle up. You better have a better buckle than Kerr Smith had at the train station. Actually, maybe you don't want a better buckle. Maybe you want.
You want that one to be. Unless you want to be, if you want to be buckled in, because that one's going to break.
I don't even know what to say with the alternate endings. There's 2.
How many are there? Okay,
there's 2. I'm gonna give the first one because it's like easier than the second one's like crazy. Okay, so the first one, the original ending, Alex doesn't die, right? Kerr Smith presumably dies, and like it goes to the credits.
Yeah.
The other one, Alex does die by like a helicopter that crashes, and the rudders come out and like decapitates him. There's another.
He gets decapitated as well.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they didn't want to use it twice. Maybe like in that version, Billy didn't get decapitated. Like we already used one.
He did.
It was like it's too many. But it'd be like the ultimate surprise. Like you wouldn't think decapitation's coming.
I guess, yeah, that's true. You're like, it already happened. Something else is going to happen. Yeah. So that was the first one. Here's the second one, which is what it's alluding to earlier with something else happened on the beach. Okay. So in the second one, there are deleted scenes.
Okay.
So in this, did you like the romance between Alex really and Clear was like, it just like went from 0 to 100. Like all of a sudden she's calling him baby. Like there's
calling him baby.
Yes.
When did she call him baby?
Like immediately after the beach scene. Immediately she's
calls
like,
him
baby. She calls him baby. Yeah, like
Really?
a ton. And you're like,
I watched that movie and I didn't even get that they were supposed to be a couple until like the end. So yeah.
Okay. So you're just like, what? Like immediately they're at the beach. Like she tells it like my dad got killed and they're like, oh, and then immediately it jumps to them driving to the cabin. And then like, it's like, oh, baby. And she called like, there's that like jump and it makes no sense because of deleted scenes. So in the deleted scenes, they have sex on the beach. Literally, they have sex on the beach. They have sex on the beach. And then another deleted scene is her taking a pregnancy test. She is now pregnant with his child, 18-year-old Devon Sawa. Yeah. And she like throws the pregnancy thing in the trash.
Wait, when does she take the pregnancy test? Wait, at what point?
It is unclear. It is unclear.
Like, are they in Paris? Like, is she pregnant in Paris?
No, there's no Paris in the opposite ending.
Oh, there's no
Let
Paris.
me continue. There's no Paris. They have sex on the beach. Now it's like they're like connected. That makes more sense with her calling him baby and stuff. He was like, what? Like,
but everything
like,
else still happened where he goes to the cabin and goes crazy, or no? Like,
no, that happens. Yeah, that happens. And then he goes back to save her. And this time, do you remember the wire? The wire that's just flying around, mind of its own. So he does the same thing where he like goes, he's like, you know what to do. And he goes, I can only hang on for so long. And he goes to grab the wire, but this time it's like really violent. He like gets electrocuted and he burns and he dies. And it's like really violent. You can watch it on YouTube. Yeah. Like burns his whole body. Anyway, so that's the ending. And then cut to not Paris, cut to
the pregnancy test.
I think it's the deleted scenes. I don't know when the pregnancy test, just in case she's pregnant. Okay. I don't know what happened. She's pregnant with his child.
Okay, I accept that she's pregnant with Devon, with Alex's child.
And there's no way, this girl's like 18, and there's no way it's 6 months later because then it cuts to, Mama,
Dada?
It cuts to like the scene in the hospital where she's like giving birth. What? I'm like serious because she's giving birth and like, I don't think it's her parents. It's Alice's parents are there like helping her through it. She gives birth to this child, which is Alice's child. And she's like, I felt, there's like weird dialogue. She's like, I felt Alice like pass through me. Like go watch it on YouTube, guys. And then it cuts to, she's in Alex's like childhood, his room.
Bedroom?
So like I guess it would have been 9 months later. 9 months later.
Would have had to have been at least.
Or like a year. Yeah. Right, at least. She's in his room and like she's holding the baby and she's kind of like looking around. She like, there's some breeze coming through this time, but this time the breeze isn't ominous. It's supposed to be like protective. And she's like, oh, Alex. And like he's watching over them or something. Then, no, it's not over. It's not over. Okay. Then it cuts to the graveyard where she's going to visit her late lover, baby daddy.
Baby daddy.
Yeah. She goes to visit him and guess who else is there? Carter also comes, but this time Carter's like at the grave and this time Carter's like not an a-hole. He's like sitting there like, I guess he's like remorseful and like thankful to Alex for like saving his life. And Ali Lard's there like holding the baby and they just have this conversation. Yeah, it's like super weird. And then a breeze flows through and they have something being like, are you scared? She's like, no. It's almost like Alex is like watching over them. And then a little maple leaf falls from the sky. That's how you can tell it's only Canada. A maple leaf falls from the sky and movie ends.
I thought it killed somebody with the maple leaf.
No, it didn't kill somebody. And then there's like some music, some kind of pleasant music that plays. But apparently audiences hated it. And they like thought it was like detracted and was weird. And like she got pregnant. They had sex once on the beach. She gets pregnant and like has his baby. Like they were in love or something. Like,
yeah, it makes no sense. They barely had like talked.
Yeah.
And they certainly didn't seem like a couple.
No, they did not. So, anyway,
I love the ending we got because that's like the
everyone
best
loves
ending.
the ending we got.
Yeah, the last scene is so good.
The other one did not fit the movie at all. No. It made it like melancholy. But that's the ending, Al. So you're welcome.
Ash, I was not expecting that. Not gonna lie.
You had a lot of questions. You're like, wait, what?
Well, come on, that is ridiculous.
All right, it is time for the villain. Al, who's the villain? What do you think? Who is it?
All right. I mean, obviously we've got death, right? But not going with that easy route. Not doing that. I'm going to say that the villain are the flight attendants on Volet 180. In multiple ways, right? I think they kicked those people off, but like they should have listened. They could have saved all of those people. But then again, potentially them dying on the plane, they were saved from more horrific deaths. So Either way.
Oh.
They could have kept those 7 people on the plane, and they would have just been blown up with their friends and not have died so horrifically had they not thrown them off. So yeah, flight attendants of Valet 180, the villains in this movie. Yeah.
My goodness. I guess that is quite the take.
It's an interpretation.
I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to go a little more upstream.
Further. Okay. Yeah. You always go like super upstream on this. Okay.
The villain of this movie is the maintenance crew for that airplane. You have to do some check. What? There was some like oil leakage thing, fuel thing in the bottom. They wouldn't have seen that. Excuse me? Yeah. Were they part of Death's plan? It was
maybe they were part of Death's plan, Ash. Yeah. And
you know when you sit in the thing and they're like, there's some maintenance issue and you see people working on it, they have to sign off on that. It's them. They are the villain.
Yeah.
100% the villain.
Okay.
Maybe their alarm clocks were the villain, to be honest. You want to go up further? Their alarm clocks went off and they went to work. You know,
let's go. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things happen, but again, like, would you, if you were going to die, meet your demise, would you rather be blown up on a plane or die horrifically, like a la Miss Luton?
I don't want to die in a plane. That sounds like horrible, like the panic of it. And I already don't like planes.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd rather Miss Luton, like death by vodka?
I'd rather be drunk, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah, okay. I guess like if vodka is the way to go. Sure.
Cheers to that. Same here. Yeah. Give me a few drinks. I don't really want to remember it all. I mean, no, you won't remember it. You won't be there anymore. But I don't want to experience it.
It's got real dark.
Fully.
It's got real dark. Real dark.
Well, we're gonna get to some questions soon. So.
We are. All right, it is time for Sips and Simmering Questions, where we answer questions from our listeners sent in on social media. And we have a good one today. We have a really good one.
We really do.
Allie, you have it, so why don't you read it?
I do. This one comes at us from the Michael Myers Show. So he always has some really great questions for us, and I love this one.
He's the best.
Yes.
Go follow him on Instagram.
Yes.
He's fun. He's funny, and he posts all of his takes on all things horror. He's the best.
Yeah. His question for us today is, how many deaths would it take before you started to believe? And after that, what, if any, would your strategy be?
Okay.
So Ash, I'm throwing that one at you. How many deaths until you started to believe that it was by design?
One. I would believe right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
If someone, I would be like Annie on Bridesmaids. Like there's something they're telling us. We have to get off the plane. Like I immediately would believe. Would
you get off the plane, Ash?
Yeah, I would get off the plane.
Yeah. Okay. You'd 100%. Be like clear. Yeah.
I am looking for any excuse to get off the plane. To be honest, I hate flying. I'm just claustrophobic, so I don't like it. So if someone said that, I'd be like, I'm out. Like no way. One person. Yeah. One death. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I would believe 100%. I am well versed in horror lore, and I would 100% get off the plane. You?
Yeah, I think I would get off the plane, and I'm with you. One death, and I'm like, yeah. But I think also because I've seen Final Destination, I think that February 2020 me, would I have? What one death would I think that? I think I would, again, because of our sort of horror upbringing. Yeah. But what would your strategy be, Ash, if you realized that it was by design?
I already said my strategy. I would go to a padded room and I would chill there until it all blowed over.
But when would it?
I don't know. But like he goes to the cabin and there's all these like sharp corners. He's wearing, we didn't even talk about this. He's wearing like the gloves. He like tapes things. He does all this stuff to the cabin. By the way, he rigs it like Home Alone.
And there's a lot of dangerous things in that cabin. Like it is not a great place to be.
So don't go to a cabin with a bunch of like nails and wood and knives and things like that. Like I would go, or maybe like, what would be safe? Like a green pasture somewhere you lie.
Well, not in the happening, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe wind
is the enemy. Yeah. I don't think I'd just sit and like wait. I think I try to figure it out. I try to intervene. Like I think I do. I think I wouldn't just sit and let it take me.
Okay. What would your strategy be?
I'd do some research. I don't know. I would figure out who it was. Yeah. Go get some microfilm. Try to understand if this has happened before.
Yeah.
People that have survived, study that, research it. And figure it out. Yeah.
Like tell us you've seen the sequels without telling us you've seen the sequels. You know what I mean?
Again,
I'm going to go find Allie Larder and I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah. I'm going to figure it out. But
fair enough.
Great question, Michael Myers. Thank you as always. We love answering your questions.
Well, that's going to do it for Sips and Screams episode 18, Final Destination. Thank you so much for joining us and listening today. And join us next time as we sip on more themed cocktails and discuss the good, the bad, and the truly terrifying of our favorite horror movies. Cheers.
Cheers.